Hey, it's Sela Social Studies.
Hey guys, welcome back to Steelist Social Studies. Today we're going to be discussing the South during the Northern Industrial Revolution, because it's no lie that the Industrial Revolution affected the North more than the South. So it's no secret that since the first Europeans brought the first slave into the New World, that the Southern economy was based solely on the backs of slave labor. The first slave was brought to the new British colonies in 1619, and this video is going to discuss the effect of slave labor during the years of the Industrial Revolution in America, 1790 to 1860. The British and Spanish blockade of trade after the American Revolution, combined with Jefferson's Embargo and Non-Intercourse Act, and the War of 1812 led to extravagant trade problems in America. Because of the trade dilemmas, prices for important southern crops like tobacco, rice, and indigo dropped drastically. If you remember what I said prior, slavery was on the decline prior to the Industrial Revolution. One slave could process about 1 pound of cotton in about 10 hours. And in 1794, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin, changing the way cotton is processed forever. The cotton gin produced unexpected high yields of raw cotton to export. The southern use of the cotton gin, in conjunction with Great Britain becoming the leader in textile manufacturing, brought about a successful trade relation. The British demand for American cotton contributed to cotton replacing tobacco as the top export. Great Britain would become the South's most valuable trade partner. The Southern economy was based solely on agricultural products and plantation farming that relied on enslaved Africans as labor. Now, a good cotton crop meant financial success and the elevation of the hierarchy of Southern white planters. Cotton was now king of the South. The cotton gin made cotton so profitable that Southern farmers abandoned all other crops. No longer were tobacco, rice, and indigo staple in plantation fields. Developments of new and different types of cotton helped expand the spread of production throughout the southern states, reaching as far west as Texas. The area in which cotton had completely engulfed farms in the South was given the nickname the Cotton Belt. By 1840, the United States became the world leader in cotton production, producing more than 75% of the world's cotton supply. This economic boom of white gold attracted new settlers to the southern states and built up wealth among the lucky few in the South who could afford seeds to plant. The continuous removal of Native Americans, opening more land for white settlers, assisted new cotton farmers in the Southeast. Many white Southerners became planters and found immeasurable wealth while relying on a labor system that was not paid. Slavery had officially been established as the driving force behind life in the South. Now, cotton had many advantages as a cash crop. It was inexpensive to market and was easy to store and transport. There was no threat of it spoiling like old crops like tobacco, rice, or even indigo. The versatility of cotton aided in the growth of southern cities. Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, and New Orleans, Louisiana became major port cities. Cotton made up 60% of all exports leaving these ports by the mid-1800s. Now, cotton had its advantages, however, it had a major disadvantage: its abuse of the land. Overproduction of cotton would destroy the land. It is very nutrient dependent, and if harvested over and over, the soil would become depleted and worthless. Southern farmers had to turn to a crop rotation to save the soil, a rotation that could still be seen today. Also, the cotton industry was very labor intensive. The need for more slaves caused an increase in the Atlantic slave and internal slave trade. Planters would not pay for the laborers. They would instead use enslaved Africans to do the work for free. Now, there is no disputing that cotton was king when it came to southern plantations. However, there were other crops that needed to be farmed in the South due to long growing season and rich fertile soil. The primary food crop of the South was corn. Today, only 3% of corn in the United States is used for human consumption. The other 90% is used for cattle feed. Other crops grown in the South as well, but in much smaller numbers. Edible crops like rice, wheat, sugarcane, and sweet potatoes can be seen grown throughout southern farms, while flax and hemp also made farmers wealth. Tobacco would again see a rise in production when a slave figured out a new way to dry the tobacco leaves, and as long as agricultural products remained high in the South, investors preferred to invest in the land, opting out of major industrial ventures. The economy and the way of life was based almost entirely on agriculture in the South. However, there was a small faction of the economy that was dedicated to industry. There was no comparison to the mighty industrious North, but Southern industry existed. Factories in the South would build machines to serve the farmers' needs. In 1803, Louisiana was the home of the first steam-powered sawmill, using the rivers to move the timbers along. Entrepreneurs would start to invest in cotton mills around 1840, expanding cotton production. Finally, in Virginia, the Tredegar Iron Works became one of the nation's most productive iron factories, so much so that it was one of the main Union targets during the American Civil War. So as we can see, industry was not very large in the South. Agriculture really, truthfully, was the leader among the economy and driving force of the South. They were also huge on the incorporation of slave labor, and we can see that the North is quickly outgaining the South in population and industry and economy, and only the select few in the South are going to be the ones making all that money in the Cotton Belt. I'll see you next time.